everybody, and welcome to this special on the super new moon in Aries on the 27th of April 2025. So it's like a regular new moon, cooler, more relaxed and popular cousin, an intense cousin actually. And it happens when the moon is at its closest point to the earth, which is also called perigee in astrology. So it's closer to us than usual, the new moon, making its gravitational pull stronger, but we still can't see it because after all it's still the new moon and we don't see the moon when it's new, right? But we can definitely feel its effects. It happens a few times a year, so this makes it rarer, more special than like our average new moon. So think of it as the universe turning up the volume and all those moon vibes, and it's like an astrological energy drink when you least expect it, right? So the supermoon is like hitting the turbo button on new beginnings. Think of booster cars in maybe movies like The Fast and the Furious, right? So it can increase our manifestation power. Our intentions and wishes have extra sort of like power. Pistons. I'm trying to think of car analogies, but behind them. So we can feel a stronger need for change, and we might feel a more intense desire to shake things up in our life, and increased in our heightened intuition, and our inner voices can be a loudspeaker. So listen up. It's a perfect time to set those big really audacious crazy wild goals that you've been too scared to voice to yourself. And we can use this energy because the universe is listening to us. It's all ears and ready to help us make that magic happen. So I'm going to talk more about the spiritual meanings now. So it's like VIP pass to our inner world, the supermoon energy. It allows us to connect more deeper with our higher self, release old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve us, and align more closely with our soul's purpose. It is our chance to do some serious spiritual spring cleaning, being out with the old vibes and in with the new, that sort of thing. And it's like a power wash for our souls. On the esoteric levels, it's about finding a secret level in our favorite video game, and really focus on what's hidden beneath the surface. It can give us increased psychic abilities, intuitive or deductive reasoning, logical abilities. Our third higher consciousness might be working overtime, so pay attention to any flashes of insight that comes through conversation, dreams, visions, daydreaming. It's sort of like a karmic fast tracking energy, so we may notice like a speed up in us wanting to deal with the things that are causing issue in our life, because karmic patterns come to our attention, and this energy allows us to rapidly heal and release them. So this is a really good energy. It acts as a sort of dimensional doorway, a portal to other realms and dimensions of consciousness if you work with this energy, right? Because we must always work with these astrological vibrations to use them, tap into them. Obviously on the mundane level, everyday level, the energies affect us, but by practically applying them we can make the best of them, right? So it's a chance to dig deep into psychic abilities and mystical practices and stuff like that. The best use of this energy, as I said, is to set supercharged intentions, write them down, your biggest dreams and goals, and as long as you're willing to work daily towards them. Consistency is the key. Meditate or do energy work or any other spiritual practices or anything that makes you feel good, whether it's screaming, dancing, singing, gaming, whatever, because we all work in different ways, we all meditate in different ways, right? Breathwork meditation will be really good now. Pay attention to your dreams as it can be more vivid and meaningful, and just trust your gut, because our intuition can be our friend during the super new moon. See it as a sort of booster shot for your personal growth and spiritual evolution. It's a time to shine, even in the dark, even if you're going through turmoil, and the darkness, because there's no moon, we don't see it, right? So work with this energy, trust the process and get ready for some major transformational vibes if you're willing to work with this energy. And remember, the universe has got your back, and so has the planetary energies. So the super new moon in Aries happens in the 15th degree of Aries, which has the Sabian symbol of Indian weaving a blanket, and it brings a unique blend of energies that should be used for personal growth and creative plans. And the Sabian symbol brings themes of patience, creativity and community. So as I said, the energetic frequency of this super new moon in Aries is high intensity initiation energy. So it gives us the energy to start new things, and is exact at 8:31 p.m. GMT time on the 27th of April. So positively, this moon phase is ideal for initiating creative projects. The act of weaving a blanket symbolizes the transformation of raw materials, hidden talents, into something meaningful and warm, encouraging us to express our creativity and bring new ideas to life, and maybe use skills that we forgot we had, or build new skills as well. Weaving requires time and attention and patience and attention to detail, more importantly, so it reminds us to balance Aries impulsive energy with patience. It's a great time to slow down and invest in meticulous planning for lasting results. A blanket is often said for warmth, and this represents unity. This moon phase highlights the value of collaboration, teamwork and integrating diverse perspectives into our projects, but negatively, the desire for quick results can lead to frustration. Aries energy can clash with the slow, methodical process of weaving, potentially causing restlessness, and we can overlook details, when we rush through tasks. This can result in errors. So it's important to avoid skipping steps in our creative and personal projects right now as well. So the best use of this super new moon energy in Aries is to do activities that require both inspiration and careful execution, careful planning, whether it's art, writing, allowing yourself to develop your ideas thoroughly. Use this phase to set clear, achievable goals, break down larger projects into manageable steps, ensuring each part is well considered. Practice patience by taking deliberate steps towards our goals. Embrace the process and find joy in the journey rather than rushing to the finishing line. Ultimately, the super new moon in Aries invites us to embrace our creativity and develop, cultivate patience and be mindful. It's time to weave, create our ideas into reality, much like a carefully crafted blanket or, artwork or woodwork, anything like that. Ensure each thread is placed with intention and care. So in terms of the Sabian symbol, I'm going to go more in depth later, but I'm just going to do a summary of it right now. So it represents the blending of inspiration with careful thought and execution. It shows how individual threads, ideas come together to create something useful and beautiful. It symbolizes the importance of patience in crafting, creating our life's pattern, our lifestyle, our daily habits, our thoughts, and this symbol teaches us that even the most dynamic and fiery among us, Aries energy, must sometimes slow down to create something lasting and meaningful. So it's about reflecting on the things that you need to do to sort of bring your dreams into reality. So now I'm just going to go a bit more in depth about this super new moon in Aries and what we can practically do to use this energy. So as I said, it's a great energy to use to kickstart new projects and goals, whether it's personal or professional personal plans. Now is the time to take bold steps forward. We can draw inspiration from the Sabian symbol of weaving, engaging in team working efforts that bring people together, focusing on creating something meaningful and lasting. In terms of the financial meanings, it wants us to invest in ourselves, whether it's our educational or personal development, to increase our skills and future prospects. Aries energy encourages us to take calculated risks for growth. Reflecting on the blanket's durability, we should opt for investments that promise long-term stability and growth rather than short-term gains. In terms of the materialistic and social meanings, it wants us to think about acquiring items that are well crafted and long lasting, and well crafted and durable, reflecting the value of the woven blanket. It wants us to do things that create unity and togetherness, mirroring the community aspect of blanket weaving. Traditionally it was done like it was a community activity. In terms of the personal, individual meanings, the super new moon in Aries is all about taking bold steps towards new projects and personal growth. It's a perfect time to set intentions for what you want to achieve, whether that's starting a new hobby, pursuing a goal, or simply adopting a fresh mindset. Aries is the sign of the warrior, so this new moon is pushing you to tap into your inner courage and take the lead in your life, whether it's at work, in your relationships, or on a personal journey. Now is the time to be bold and take the initiative. Psychologically, this new moon is a great opportunity to reflect on who you are and how you present yourself to the world. It's a time to ask yourself, who am I and who do I want to be? Consider how you can align your actions and decisions with your true self. Aries energy is all about independence, but this new moon also reminds us of the importance of teamwork. It's a time to find a healthy balance between standing on your own and working with others to achieve your goals. On the spiritual esoteric level, the Sabian symbol of an Indian weaving a blanket shows the idea of bringing different threads together to create something beautiful and cohesive. Spiritually, this could mean integrating different aspects of yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses, or different spiritual practices into your life to create a more unified whole. It also wants us to become more disciplined in our spiritual practice. Weaving is a methodical and intentional process, and this new moon may encourage you to adopt a more disciplined approach to your spiritual growth, whether it's through meditation, journaling, or other practices. Now is the time to commit to your spiritual journey. In terms of the holistic karmic meanings and lessons, the super new moon in Aries is a time to reflect on our past actions and how they influence our present. It's about acknowledging the lessons learned and integrating them into our journey. The Sabian symbol of an Indian weaving a blanket shows the importance of weaving together past experiences to create a strong foundation for the future. And letting go of our comfort zone, releasing old patterns. Aries energy is all about new beginnings, and this new moon is a powerful time to let go of old patterns, habits and beliefs that no longer serve you. Starting the work or continuing the work of doing so, it's an opportunity to break free from the karmic cycles that have held you back and embrace, vibe with, be open to a fresh start. In terms of the past life memories and dreams that could come up, you may find yourself reflecting on past life experiences where you held leadership roles or struggled with independence. This could manifest in dreams or memories of past celebrations, triumphs or challenges related to standing on your own 2 feet. The Sabian symbol of weaving a blanket can also bring up memories of past life experiences when you were part of a community or group working together towards a common goal. This could be a reminder of the importance of teamwork and unity in achieving success. In terms of collective karma, this new moon may highlight collective karmic themes around the balance between independence and interdependence, working with others and being independent. As well, society is called on to reflect on how individual actions impact the collective and the importance of working together to overcome challenges. The image of weaving a blanket shows the need for unity and collaboration motivation, and this could manifest in societal movements or initiatives that bring people together to create positive change. It's a reminder that collective efforts can lead to greater resilience and strength, you know. So now I'm going to talk about the aspects that the Sun and the Moon make at the time of this super new moon in Aries on the 27th of April 2025. So the first aspect is the Moon making a square to Mars, and this aspect supercharges the energy of motivation. It's like having a battery pack for our goals and desires. So if we've been feeling stuck, this energy can push us to take more bold, brave action and go after our passions with renewed, energy. But negatively, this square can add to us being restless and impatient. We can find ourselves jumping from one thing to another without focus, or feeling frustrated if things don't go our own way immediately. So we have to keep our cool and channel this energy wisely. The Sun also makes a square to the Mars as well. So again, if we've been procrastinating, this is the push we need to get moving and make things happen. It gives us the motivation and determination and focus, but negatively again, it can feel like we're constantly battling for what we want and what we need to do. So we have to balance our desires with practical steps, and it's important to avoid burnout or necessary conflicts with other people, just arguing for the sake of it, because you've got this double Mars energy with the Sun and Moon contacting it, right? So we just have to be mindful of the things that we do and which we say right now. The Moon also makes a semi-square to the North Node, so it's a gentle, nice energy, just pushing us and reminding us to stay aligned with our highest potential, our soul's path. It's a call to focus on what truly matters and let go of distractions, using this energy to make choices that align with our higher purpose. We can feel like we're a bit out of sync, like we're not quite on the right track, but remember, this is a sign to adjust our course, change what needs to be changing, taking a moment to reflect and realign with our goals, and thinking about the thought and behaviour and relationship patterns we need to improve or let go of. The Sun also makes a semi-square to the North Node, so again, it can feel uncomfortable because we can feel uncertain about our next steps, but we have to remember that growth often happens outside of our comfort zone, and we should just take a deep breath and trust the process. As the Sun sexti-square to the North Node is once again reminding us that we have the power to create the life that we want, and if we're open to the opportunities and trust that the universe has our back, then we can make significant changes and a strategic plan to reach our life targets under this new moon. The Moon also sexti-squares the South Node, as does the Sun, so both of these allow us to wake up and let go of old patterns that are holding us back. It's a chance to release what's no longer serving us and make space for new positive energy. It's a powerful opportunity to work with our psychological, emotional, spiritual wounds and step into a brighter, more empowered version of ourselves. But negatively, we may feel pulled to fall back into old ways of thinking or behaving, but remember, those patterns are exactly what's holding you back. Use this energy to break free and move forward, and remember that holding on too tightly can prevent you from moving forward. Let go and trust that what's meant for you will stay in your life. So, work with this energy, remember your goals and channel your energy wisely to avoid feeling scattered and burnt out and frustrated, and, have faith in yourself and your ability to change, Also, at the time of this super new moon, there's a few transiting aspect patterns. We've got a T-square first, with Mars in Cancer, the Sun and Moon in Aries, and Pluto in Capricorn. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about what a T-square is in astrology and the positives and negatives of a transiting T-square. So a T-square in astrology is when 3 or more planets. Normally some people count points. I will only count a point such as the moon's north node if it was like conjunct a planet like Venus at the same degree, something like that in a T-square. I wouldn't necessarily include it on its own. So yeah, a T-square is when 3 or more planets form a right angled triangle in a transit chart, and this configuration involves 2 planets being involved each other, creating tension, and a third planet squares both of the opposing planets, and this is why it's called like a T-square, because it looks like a T. And the positives of a transiting T-square include increased motivation for growth and change, opportunities for self-awareness and transformation, and the potential for breakthroughs in difficult situations. It can act as a catalyst for personal development and push us outside of our comfort zones. Negatively, we can struggle with decision making due to the conflicting energies. We can experience a heightened emotional intensity, leading to stress or anxiety and challenges in communication and our relationships. And it can also kind of bring eternal conflict to some of us as well, because of the external obstacles that come, or the internal thoughts of unresolved psychological, emotional and spiritual trauma that can come up. And dealing with these issues internally or externally that come up can require patience and resilience to overcome. So again, this energy can push us towards taking bold action and going after our passions with renewed energy, but negatively this square can make us feel restless and impatient. We can find ourselves jumping from one thing to another without focus or feeling frustrated if things don't go our way immediately. So keep our cool and channel this energy wisely, In this T-square, Mars in Cancer allows us to be nurturing with ourselves and, channel this fiery enthusiasm of the Sun and the Moon in Aries into caring for ourselves and our loved ones. It allows us to confront our fears and break free from limiting patterns, thanks to Pluto in Capricorn's influence here as well. But negatively, we can struggle with being assertive right now, causing frustration or passive aggression tendency, and the impulsive nature of Aries, Sun and Moon can add to us making hasty decisions right now. And Pluto's presence can bring up power struggles and deep-seated fears, especially in relationships or career matters. It's crucial to mindfully navigate these emotional currents, finding healthy outlets for our feelings through creative expression or open communication. So we should use the fiery energy of the supermoon while staying aware of our emotional complexities within ourselves and others that are in play right now as well, to make the best use of this T-square. Also, there's a grand water trine between Venus and Neptune in Pisces, Mars in Cancer and the Ascendant in Scorpio. So it's like having a smooth, emotional and intuitive energy flow. This grand water trine energy helps us to understand our intuition, build deep connections, increases our creativity. And if we have been feeling stuck, this energy can help us tap into our inner wisdom and move forward. Negatively, we may feel overly sensitive or emotional or get lost in daydreams, but remember, this is just a sign to stay grounded and focused. Use this energy to motivate your passions and desires, rather than getting lost in it. Allow it to build your emotional intelligence and help you soothe your emotions and work with the motivation energy while staying grounded as well. Also, there's a 4-point stellium between Venus, Saturn, Neptune and the North Node in Pisces. A stellium in astrology refers to a powerful cluster of planets that are closely grouped together in the same sign, house or degree orb. So if a planet's in the 29th degree of Gemini, and then we've got one planet in the 7th degree of Cancer, because those planets, let's say Venus in the 29th degree of Gemini and Saturn in the 7th degree of Cancer, They can still be in a stellium because they are within a degree orb range, and that's how stellium can happen when one planet's in one sign and another's in another sign. That's because they're still within that 10-degree conjunction range that we need for stellium. So stellium can have positive and negative implications, like all things in life and astrology. So positively, a stellium increases the traits associated with the planets involved, the degree orbs involved, or the house involved, and creating a strong focus on those specific areas of our lives. It can signify intense determination, creativity, and give a deep sense of purpose in pursuing our goals, going after what we want. Negatively, it can bring challenges, a lot of challenges. It can amplify the negatives of all the planets, houses, or degree orbs involved, leading to an overwhelming amount of energy in these areas, and this can cause stress because of the imbalance of too much of one energy surging on you, and so we may feel more pressure to live up to high expectations, or struggle with integrating the different energies represented by the planets within a transiting stellium. So once again, it allows us to focus on our spiritual journey and trust our inner guidance. We can use this energy to align with our higher purpose and embrace new opportunities for growth. But negatively can add to us feeling overwhelmed right now, and we may struggle with self-doubt. But remember, this is just a sign to stay focused and trust in the process. And the best use of this energy, once again, is to motivate our passions and desires and allow it to guide us to working with our emotions. So now I'm just going to talk a bit more about the Sabian symbols involved at the time of the super new moon, going in depth on them. So as I said, we've got the moon in the 15th degree of Aries, and this rules the lateral lobes in the brain, and the Sabian symbol is an Indian weaving a blanket. We have the sun in the 14th degree of Aries, and the Sabian symbology for that is the serpent coiling near a man and a woman, and this rules the frontal lobes of the brain. And we have the North Node in the 2nd degree of Pisces, and this imagery is the squirrel hiding from hunters, and this rules the left calculum, the heel of the foot in the human body. And we've got the South Node in the 2nd degree of Virgo, and this Sabian symbology is a large white cross stands alone on top of a hill, and this rules the small intestine. In combination, these Sabian symbols offer us transformation, protection, and spiritual awakening. The moon in the 15th degree of Aries is talking about the weaving of fate on a deeper level. It's about taking, as I said, our raw materials, our emotions, our experiences that we have through life, and crafting them into something meaningful and nurturing. This is a call to create boundaries and protect your energy while also using your creativity. The sun's in the 14th degree of Aries, so this serpent symbolises rebirth and the shedding of old skins, while the man and the woman suggests a dynamic interplay between our masculine and feminine energies. This is a reminder to embrace change and balance in our partnerships and within ourselves, to work with the divine masculine and feminine energies within ourselves. The North Node and its symbology of a squirrel hiding from hunters is about safety, preparation, and storing resources for the future. It's a call to retreat when necessary, protecting our energy and trusting that you have enough to sustain it. The South Node in Virgo with the white cross on a high hill symbolises sacrifice, healing, and spiritual elevation. It's a reminder to let go of martyrdom or martyr complexes and embrace selfless service and divine purpose. And they encourage us to protect our energy and trust in our ability to create and renew. It's a reminder, as I said, to prepare for the future and align with our spiritual purposes by balancing the masculine and feminine energies within ourselves, being logical but being intuitive, working with our emotions while being practical as well. But negatively, the combined meaning of these Sabian symbols could manifest as a fear of change, over protection to the point of isolation or getting stuck in martyrdom. It can also signal imbalance in our relationships or a lack of trust in our ability to create and renew and in ourselves and our talents. So if you are affected by this, just work on loving yourself. It's a process, and work on healing all your blockages, psychologically, spiritual and emotional ones that stop you from loving yourself, understanding yourself and accepting your strengths and weaknesses. Now I'm going to talk about the combined esoteric and occult meanings. So the serpent, the sun in Aries, represents the Kundalini energy rising, symbolizing spiritual awakening and the activation of our inner power. The blanket, the moon in Aries, right, is a symbol of the auric field, or the protective layer of energy that surrounds us, reminding us to look after our spiritual boundaries. The squirrel, the North Node in Pisces, is all about storing spiritual resources such as wisdom, intuition, faith for the times of uncertainty. The white cross, South Node in Virgo, is a symbol of sacrifice and divine service, pushing us to release ego-based suffering and embrace humility. So ultimately, these symbols want us to awaken more spiritually, to protect and align with our higher purpose, and it reminds us to trust in the universe's plan and be open to change and transformation as, the part of the natural journey of life, as we see with nature and its seasons, the rain, the sun, the wind, the hail, the rainbows, the grey skies, So in terms of their influence on our emotional, spiritual, physical and psychological health, these symbols encourages us to build our emotional resilience and the ability to weave challenging experiences into a story and narrative of strength, but there may be a tendency to overprotect our emotions, leading to isolation. In terms of our spiritual health, these symbols are deeply spiritual, pushing us to connect with our higher self and trust in divine timing. They remind us to embrace transformation and renewal as part of our spiritual journey. In terms of our physical health, the lateral lobes of the brain is ruled by the moon in Aries in the 15th degree, right, and these are linked to our creativity and emotional regulation, and imbalances here may manifest as mood swings or creative blocks. The frontal lobes of the brain, represented by the sun in Aries, are tied to decision making and focus, and stress in this area could lead to impulsive decisions or lack of concentration and focus, and the left calcaneum, the heel of our left foot, is connected to grounding and stability. So issues may manifest as a lack of balance or fear with moving forward. And the South Node in Virgo, which rules the small intestine, is linked to digestion and absorption of nutrients, both physically and metaphorically. It may signal a need for you to let go of toxic patterns or beliefs. And in terms of our psychological health, these symbols want us to balance our inner masculine and feminine energies, embrace change and trust in our ability to create and renew. And psychological challenges can come up if we resist change and transformation and hold on to fear, and it can be hard. Just take your time as you work through day to day to release yourself and to believe in yourself more. And how to practically apply these Sabian symbols, we can take time to create something meaningful, whether it's writing or creative schedule that protects our time and energy. This will help you weave your experiences into something nurturing. It wants us to write about, journal about what needs to be let go of in our life, just like the serpent said in its skin. It wants us to prepare for our future by storing spiritual and emotional resources and trust that we have enough to see us through, to sustain us even in uncertain times, reflecting on our spiritual purpose and how we can align with it, letting go of martyrdom and having others drain our energy and walk all over us, and be open to selfless service. And we can spend time grounding our energy through walking barefoot or meditation, and this will help stabilize our physical and emotional balance, so we can do things that ensure that we're getting enough rest and support and emotional regulation to support our lateral lobes of the brain, practice mindfulness, or yoga to improve our focus and decision making, to look after the frontal lobes of our brain. We can stretch our feet regularly and practice balance exercise and wear supported shoes to maintain stability, to look after our heels, our left calcaneum, and focus on gut health by eating nutrient-rich food, staying hydrated, and managing stress through relaxation techniques like deep breathing or meditation. And this is how we can look after our small intestine, right? So all in all, the super new moon in Aries is about creativity, protection and nurturing. It's time to plant seeds for projects or relationships that you want to see grow, while also setting boundaries to protect your energy. The combination of the sun and moon in Aries amplifies the energy of action, courage and independence, but the presence of the serpent, the sun symbol, reminds us to embrace transformation, newness and change, and get outside of our comfort zone, as part of our journey. It is time to create, start something new, protect, set boundaries to safeguard our energy and our focus, and transform, letting go of old patterns that no longer serve us. And the North Node in Pisces reminds us to trust in the universe's plan and prepare for the future, while the South Node in Virgo encourages us to release any tendency towards martyrdom or perfectionism. Yeah, this super new moon in Aries brings powerful energies of new beginnings and fresh starts. It's like getting an astrological restart button for our lives. At the 15th degree of Aries, this moon carries the special energy of creative determination and patient craftsmanship, taking slow and steady steps towards your goals. And the universe offers us a chance to weave our destiny with greater intention. And this isn't just any new moon. It's a super new moon, meaning it's closer to the earth and packs the extra punch of manifestation power that gives us the ability to bring new ideas into form, and it's perfect for starting projects that require both inspiration and follow through. It's like a creativity activation. We can see more easily how separate elements of our life connect to larger form patterns. The universe is supporting our ability to stick with challenging tasks that require step-by-step progress, and it gives us patience, determination. It helps us bridge the gap between imagination and practical application, as well as impatience versus the process, because Aries wants results now, but the weaving symbolism requires patience. This tension could lead to frustration if you try to rush things that need time, and we may start many projects but struggle to complete any without disciplined attention. And some of us may get caught up in endless preparation without taking the needed first step. So plan but start as well. And the weaving metaphor might trigger unrealistic expectations about how flawless your blanket must be. The start sometimes we can spend too much energy and how should we do this and that, and sometimes the best way to do a thing is to do it. The key struggle is balancing the fiery Aries desire for immediate action with the measured, methodical approach needed for lasting creation, and to make the most of this energy, begin new projects that require both creativity and structure, set intentions that balance spontaneity with careful planning, create physical representation of your goals, vision boards, journals, artwork, develop routines that honour both your need for quick wins and long-term development. Think of yourself as an astrological weaver, collecting the threads of inspiration, ideas and practical action to create something beautiful and useful. So your personal mantra right now can be: I weave my intentions with both passion and patience, creating patterns of purpose in my life. And the perfect balance of action and patience will help you create something truly meaningful and help you stay grounded during this powerful lunar cycle. So that's the end of this special on the super new moon in Aries on the 27th of April 2025. Take care and see you next time.